I don't know how insane it's gonna get, Ted.
I know.
It hasn't gotten insane yet.
Welcome to Inchworm,
the podcast in which we are inching through worm. I'm Jenny.
and I'm Ted.
And today we're actually not inching through worm. We are doing a mailbag / chit-chat episode where I didn't read anything.
Neither did I, though I did read some questions from people.
That's true. You read some fan art. Can you read?
I read some fan art.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Which we will also be reading to
yes,
you all later
out
in this
loud
episode.
to you. That's how fan art works.
Okay, let's get to some questions. First, I want to say thanks so much to everybody who has asked us a question, written in. Some of the stuff was asked a while ago, and we've sort of talked about it. Obviously, we're not going to have time to go through and answer everything that people wrote in, but I do want to say thank you if you did ask a question, and I will try to call out people's handles when I read their question to you. So let's get started.
Nice, let's do it.
So, Jenny, you have any awful bug stories?
Oh, is that where we're starting? Yeah, actually.
This is a question coming from Sky Guy on Discord, by the way.
Okay, hi Sky Guy. Yeah, there was one family vacation when I was a kid. I was, maybe 9, 10. We'd been away for the week. We drove home and went into my room, and there were big carpenter ants just like billowing out of the heating grate in my room. It was horrifying.
Wow.
And then I had to sleep in that room. I mean, we got rid of the ants, but their specter was still there.
Yeah, how did you do?
I think I did okay. I was probably a little creeped out for a little while, but yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
I do remember it, so, left an impression.
I'm horrified.
Yeah.
I've never heard this story before. That's
it's just what came to mind with horrible bug stories, yeah. How about you?
I don't think I have like a gross bug story or like a scary bug story. I do remember, I think I was sitting on the roof of our van in our driveway getting stung by a bee.
Oh.
That was a bummer.
Yeah. That very much makes it sound like you're like, what activity should I do today? I'll sit on the roof of a van and get stung by a bee.
Yeah.
It's like I was getting a haircut.
I don't remember anything else about it, but I do remember it because when I got stung, I was on the roof of the van and I couldn't get to help. I couldn't get to my parents, for comfort. It was very upsetting.
I had a gross bug story just yesterday where I had a bag of yard trash where I was like, I had been weeding and I was planning to weed more. And I opened the top of the bag that I'd like left under a tarp on the porch, and there were like maggots or something in it with ants crawling all over them. And I put the entire thing into a trash bag and put it in our trash bin.
That is horrifying.
It was horrifying.
I regret having asked this question because of how recently this happened and how close those maggoty ants are to me as we speak.
Yeah, but they're probably dead now because I sealed the trash bag pretty well.
Yeah. I would rather not have known. Delightful.
You can cut this part if you want.
And that's what we're reading about. Someone who has perfect control over these creatures.
It's really true.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Guy. That was fun. Do you have another question for us?
Sure. And as we're getting warmed up from Rowdy Mutt, have we been enjoying making the podcast?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. It's so much fun.
Yeah, we were both really tired today, and we were like, oh, should we record tonight? And I was like, oh, but I've been looking forward to it all day. So,
yes,
yeah.
Yes.
I, in particular, have really enjoyed the activity of trying to predict what's happening at every, micro beat of the narrative. It's something I've really done with a story before, and because I do write stories, I mean, I've said this before, I feel like I should be able to predict it, but of course, I don't know where it's going, so even if I knew where it was going, there would be multiple paths to get there, but not knowing where it's going to go, I can't predict what's going to happen, but I do feel like it's given me an opportunity to analyze, okay, what would make sense for a story at, this stage. I feel like it's a valuable exercise for a writer to do, honestly.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I love that. I feel like, I just I've wanted to reread Worm for a while, but taking my time with it, it's really fun to read through a chapter pretty quickly, jot down some notes, and then revisit it right before we record to be like, oh, that's interesting. I see, that's an interesting bit of writing Wildbow did there. Oh, that's probably an intentional choice. Like, oh, that's maybe some foreshadowing, or it's just like a thematic connection that I wouldn't have seen if I was just speed reading through it to get to the parts that I'm most excited about. So I'm really enjoying the inching of it all.
Yes, exactly. The inching of the worm. I feel like I've had a lot of that kind of experience listening to the episodes, like either editing them or just listening to them after the fact. It gives me a lot of time to turn things over in my head, and then I'll come in with new predictions next time that I hadn't put together for the previous time. And I also just really enjoy consuming and also creating as part of, like, parallel acts. Like, consuming this book, but then also doing something with it. We're making this podcast, which is, you know, I feel like it's less highly crafted an art form than, I mean, there are podcasts that are very carefully scripted and, like, beautiful works of art. And ours is, you know, a more casual form of the art. But still, you know, we're making this thing in response to...
It is intentionally crafted, even in its looseness.
Yes. Yeah.
Rowdywood also wants to know, would we do another one? I think specifically another Wildbow podcast.
I feel like right now, my feeling is yes. We're only 3 arcs in, and they're the shortest arcs, if I understand correctly. So you might have to ask me again in 3 years. I feel like we might at least need a break. We'll probably take breaks.
I also think part of the way this podcast ended up happening was it was the right thing at the right time for us this year. And, you know, we expect that to continue. But who knows what, you know, life will be like for us just logistically in 5 years. And so if it continues to be great times for podcasting, then I see no reason why not.
We might also feel like we want a slightly different format for the next podcast. But yeah, I mean, this is Ted's and my second podcast that we've done together, so I wouldn't be surprised if we wanted to do another one after this. And I mean, Wildbow is a lot of great stuff. We'll see how I feel about Worm, I guess. I like it so far.
Yeah, no promises. No promises. I think that takes us to another question here. So coming in from Claire.
Hi, Claire.
How has Worm been different from what you expected?
Ooh. So a couple things. I didn't have very clear expectations of the story going in. So, you know, it's not like I expected all the things that have happened, but I'm not sure I can say, like, oh, they're specifically different because I expected something else. So while there have been a lot of surprises, I'm not sure it's quite what the question is asking. I feel like one of the things that does keep taking me by surprise because it's contradicting an expectation is we had the interlude before Arc 3 where we met New Wave. And that was just this totally new piece of the world. And I feel like the first interlude was also a little like that, where we were with Danny, Taylor's father. That's very close to home for the narrative. But we also got all of this information about Scion and like sort of the starting point of Capes. And I think I expected, just given the length of the work, I sort of expected it to spiral outward more quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Like the fact that the interlude we just had was visiting characters we'd already seen almost entirely.
Yeah.
Miss Militia and Pigo were new, but for the most part we were following up with the wards and, you know, seeing Amy again. And I feel like the narrative is already like digging deeper and investing more in these characters rather than expanding outward, which makes a lot of sense. I'm not sure why I expected the sort of outward expansion, but I mean, it's such a big canvas. But of course, also, I'm sure Wildbow didn't know how long it was going to be at the beginning since he was kind of pantsing his way through. So it's felt a little bit more, you know, it hasn't connected everything back together. You know, we haven't seen how the bullies come into play yet, and there are other pieces that haven't been brought back in. But it feels like the threads are braiding together already more than I expected, even though, again, I don't know that was a reasonable expectation I had.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. One of the other things that has surprised me, I know Ted was a little leery of me reading this just because I think there are going to be some tough moments, particularly for me and how I like my narratives happy, and I know there are going to be moments that aren't. So I have been a little bit surprised just that things have gone so well for her so far. Like, I think I was expecting that to start right away, and instead, you know, the bank job went way better than expected, and her fight with Loom went way better than expected, you know. So it's, I feel like I'm really braced for the stuff that's going to be tough.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not much I can say.
Yeah. I mean, people do love this. I assume they don't love it because everyone dies horribly and it's a horrible, bleak ending. So, you never know.
Yeah. One person's trash, another person's treasure. Who knows?
One person's tragedy, another person's treasure.
Claire's question for me was, how has rereading Worm in this format changed my perspective on it, if at all? I guess I sort of talked a little bit about this, just sort of how's the podcast been? I mean, I guess the main thing is just like that it's really well written. Like,
yeah.
the scenes are good, the characters are interesting and well drawn, and the characters have all really felt themselves from moment one. I think maybe that's the thing that I appreciate the most. And it, in a way that has been, it was super easy to talk about, for example, Taylor and Brian's sort of shared conscientiousness and sense of responsibility, which is like a character trait that continues in the story, but is something that was obvious in the first couple of chapters.
Right, you didn't have to spoil me on it in order to talk about that.
Yeah, the pieces were there that I could pick up and present as kind of like, oh, this is interesting to talk about without foreshadowing. Like, and it reminds me of that scene in Arc 12 or, you know, whatever.
Right, you don't need your future knowledge to be able to see those things. Yeah. It really is.
It's very carefully written, too. Like, the rereading interlude 1
oh my gosh,
was the first thing that totally blew my mind. And again, for reasons that I can't even like allude to at this point. But the way we went over a few chapters later, the way it was carefully written about what had happened to Annette.
Right.
You know, it takes a lot of skill just to kind of do that and leave all those pieces there and then tie it up a few chapters later. I really admire that, and it's been so fun so far, and I can't wait to keep finding those moments as we continue.
Yeah, I did expect it to be well written, so I don't think this is counter to expectations, but I am very impressed how something that's basically like a, you know, first 1.5 draft just like reads so well, and it doesn't have big down periods. Yeah, it's just flowing along really nicely. And I don't even know enough about the plot complexities, but to be impressed. But what I have seen, like with Annette's death, like you were mentioning, I was also thinking about that. It's just like really impressive and gives me a lot of faith in what the narrative will do later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ted is smirking at me. I'm concerned.
I think we could turn to some more specific to the story and its setting type of questions. If you were living in this world, the Wormverse, what are the like mundane parts of it that you would like or dislike? This is a question coming from Rid Tom.
Well, I'm not sure how much of it we've really seen, but I do think that I would really dislike how Brockton Bay seems to be a dangerous, horrible place.
Right, I guess the question is, if we're not living in Brockton Bay, then it's like, oh yeah, that's great. Being in Brockton Bay does seem to be pretty uniformly bad. Yeah,
I mean, there's no ferry, so how are we supposed to cope with that? If there were a ferry, it would all be different. Yeah, it seems like there's been a ton of inflation. There are dangerous enforcers everywhere. Maybe they wouldn't go after me specifically, but like that still is, it seems like a more dangerous world. I mean, the economy there seems terrible, so that would suck. Couldn't even afford the $15 coffees. Yeah, okay, but are there things that I would really enjoy? I mean, I think I would really like the knowledge that I could develop a power. Maybe at my age it's actually not possible. I don't know. We haven't really seen that much lore about when it is possible to develop powers. But just sort of having that door be open in the world, that possibility of, I mean, it's not exactly magic, but of something paranormal, something parahuman, it would just be really exciting. Yeah. I think it would be fun to, like Victoria, take a parahuman studies class. New sciences, new frontiers of knowledge are always Study
interesting.
The literature from Earth Alpha.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild.
Yeah. Aleph.
Oh, Earth Aleph. My mistake.
The other thing that jumps out is I feel like being a Cape fan would be really fun, but and in particular being on Parahumans Online. And in saying this, what I'm realizing is I just have nostalgia for what the internet was like in like 2009. That's probably a large part of what I'm imagining when I'm like being a fan of Cape's, fast forward Taylor's World 15 years, assuming social media is the same as it is now. Probably awful.
Although, I mean, I think that I would write some superhero RPF on Archive of Our Own.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is a great fic concept.
Yeah.
In-world RPF about capes.
I would be writing it.
Very funny. That is very, very funny. I like that a lot. All right, so getting into some more speculation territory, I'm going to combine a question from Moose and from Nalicia. Are there powers you hope we get to see, or like superhero tropes you hope that we get to see that we haven't yet?
Interesting. It's a great question. I feel like it's going to be hard to like think of things, especially for the tropes. I hope we deal with some real-time travel.
Ooh.
I would be surprised if the story leaned really heavily into that, but it would be really fun.
What about it speaks to you as fun?
Oh, it just, like, the way it complicates a narrative can be really satisfying if it's well done, which is very hard to do. But I bet Wildbow could do it if anyone can. I feel like teleportation is really fun. That's a power I really wished I had as a teenager. I wanted to be able to, like, go visit foreign countries.
Yeah.
And so it would be fun to see that one. I'm really looking forward to an exploration of whether there really are psychics, because I bet there are.
Yes, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've sort of been throwing powers out in my predictions, though those have been pretty keyed to the names. I don't know.
No, yeah, that's great. That's great.
Tropes. I mean, I have been predicting from the start that we're going to see the good guys not really being that good, which is...
Of course.
One of my favorite superhero kind of movie tropes. I've mentioned before my love of both Dr. Horrible and Megamind. And so I do sort of love that, like, actually, the establishment is corrupt and the villains had it right the whole time. And it seems like these villains maybe don't have it right the whole time, but I bet the establishment doesn't either. I really hope we get into the origins of powers.
Ooh.
I hope we get into some real ethical questions about doing things to people to potentially give them powers. And actually, that is my prediction for the Dallon family secret.
Ooh.
They sort of have this thing where it's like, yeah, we're a family and we all have powers. And Amy's adopted, but she has a power because we adopted her from a supervillain. And I bet they discovered how to give themselves powers. And I bet they used it on Glory Girl and Panacea.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, maybe there is a genetic or environmental component to powers that means that, like, a family could all have powers. But, like, I don't know, it's more interesting if...
I see the ethical issues there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look what it's done to Amy.
Of course.
Glory Girl seems great, but maybe, you know, the facade will crack like the force field did.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Ooh, I bet that force field is a metaphor.
Ooh.
For her imperturbable nature. I mean, not imperturbable, because she has anger issues, but, you know, her general cheerfulness.
Yeah. Could be tough.
I think that Amy and Victoria are gonna, like, sort of become a faction unto themselves at some point. Like, they're gonna... be mad at the world.
Cell.
Yeah. Yeah, they both just have a lot of potential for, like, rage and destruction and strong emotions, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
And excited to see how the, like, various alliances and enmities shake out. Right now they really hate Taylor, but will they eventually? Will they ever manage to find themselves on the same side? Because I think that would be really fun.
Yes, it is fun. I enjoy the trope of people who can't stand each other having to work together.
I really just want Taylor to have more respect from the good guys than she has right now. Maybe you shouldn't have hit her with a fire extinguisher.
Maybe they aren't the good guys.
I really think that who are the good guys, are there any good guys, is the trope that I want to see.
Yeah.
And the Animorphs lover in my heart really wants to see sort of the trope of, like, how far do you go in fighting monsters before you become a monster?
Yeah. That's a tough one. Exciting stuff. You mentioned predictions you wanted to share. Are there any you're super excited to share before we do some other questions?
All right, well, yeah, let me look at my predictions. I do think that this is sort of a small thing, but I talked about how Brian and Alec might have gotten their powers from various kind of abusive situations. I didn't really get into how Bitch got her powers, but it seems pretty clear to me the best candidate is that she got them because of Angelica. Like, she saw Angelica being abused. We know that Angelica's previous owners... Angelica is the dog she didn't name. So, presumably, she is the dog that belonged to other people before, you know.
Right.
So I'm guessing that makes her Bitch's first dog. And we know that she was physically harmed by her first owners. I forget what is her eye, her ear, like both of them. If Bitch was so horrified and outraged by that, and that made her get powers, be able to turn Angelica into a dog who could fight back against her abusive owners.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so either her foster family or someone in their orbit had this dog.
Okay, Bitch's origin story is Angelica.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm also going to predict, sort of much broader scale, powers are getting stronger.
Ooh.
Look at these teens. I mean, I talked before about, like, if every 5-year, like, age group in Brockton Bay, like, has this many powerful capes, then, like, it's an enormous quantity.
Yeah.
There are as many wards almost as there are protectorate members, and the protectorate members are just any adult. So I do think powers are sort of coming faster, coming stronger. The words are all so powerful.
Right.
So I think they're getting stronger because of something someone's doing.
Okay.
And I think that's connected to what the Dallon family is doing.
Yeah.
Like, they've sort of figured it out and are able to use it on themselves and their kids.
Yeah.
But there's some sort of governmental or other large institution conspiracy situation to
yeah, that's interesting.
give people powers.
And so what you're speculating is that there's an agent who wants more and more people and more powerful people out there.
As I said that, I was like, would the government really want that? Because it's hard to control a superpowered populace. So I don't know that it would be the government, but yeah, I think
somebody's doing this.
Somebody's doing this.
Interesting.
It could be an unintended byproduct of something else that people are doing.
Right.
But I think someone's doing it.
I like that theory.
I think, conversely, the Endbringers, it's possible they're just trying to end reality, end the world, end humanity, but maybe they're trying to end capes. Specifically, like, they probably have a bunch of really scary powers. I mean, we heard about the Simurgh and how everyone's terrified of them. But yeah, they want to bring down capes.
Right.
They think that capes are like an abomination and, you know, a crime against humanity, and they want to destroy them all.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
I mean, we're definitely going to meet them.
Yeah.
They're going to be in the story.
Yeah, that feels like a very X-Men direction, the sort of like, oh, get rid of the mutants, you know.
But they are mutants. I mean, they are capes.
Yeah.
But yeah, they want to get rid of all of them in a sort of a culty way.
Okay.
I do wonder, it'd be really fun if they're the real good guys. And we're going to meet the Endbringers, and it turns out they know about what's being done to result in capes, and that it's actually a really bad thing. Maybe the capes are a side effect of this, you know, thing that's being done. So they're just trying to stop that thing, but they've been painted with a really negative brush by the government, who hates them.
It's an interesting theme of just sort of like superpowers are inherently bad. If the story goes in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's quite where I think it's going. But I do think if there's a really bad side effect of, like, it is damaging to humanity in some long-term way that we aren't quite aware of yet.
Sure.
Or if the only reason we have capes is because of, you know, some terrible thing that is being done.
Right.
Yeah. It's not that the powers themselves are bad, but the only way to get them is bad.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's really getting to sort of like society-wide, you know, themes about, is the direction we're heading with these demographic changes and the increasing power levels, is that good, or is it worth it at what cost?
Yeah, exactly. In a more approximate sense, I was predicting last time, what is shell going to mean? Ted was teasing me after the episode that maybe there's a meaning of shell I hadn't thought of. And it occurred to me today that it could be an explosive. And maybe the next arc is when she sort of explodes her life. Like her dad finds out she's not going to school, or, I mean, she quit school for good. I think I already predicted that. Her dad finds out she's not going to school, or worse, he finds out about her powers or where she's been hanging out or something that really throws a wrench in her whole life.
Yeah, that could be bad.
Yeah.
Or it could be just what she needs.
I assume this whole book is just about Taylor coming into herself and really evolving and self-actualizing.
Yeah.
She's going to go on a meditation retreat next.
So after going on her meditation retreat,
yeah,
and just like really, putting that mind
really finding
to work,
herself,
what are the like most off the wall things you can imagine Taylor doing with her powers? Like three things that are like that you hope Taylor will come up with, or that you would do in her place. This is a question coming from Cape Morning on Discord.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like invading Clockblocker's body like that was already really intense. I mean, I do want her to build an army of crustaceans.
Okay.
And swarm the beach.
Okay.
Just sort of as like an FU to the Brockton Bay efforts to keep the seediness of the town away from the tourists.
Oh, so like class warfare using her power.
Exactly.
Incredible.
Yeah. Just like hundreds of crabs, which she's gone on a boat with the Undersiders. They go on a boat and they like collect all the crabs, and they send this enormous army of thousands of crabs.
Go back to Boston, tourists.
Yeah, exactly. What's wrong with the North End? Just stay there. Okay, so that was one thing. I do want her to be able to control someone's gut biome. I think that would be really fun. We don't have any evidence that she can control things that small, but
would be cool.
That would be really fun. And I want her to be able to fly.
Oh.
Yeah. I feel like both of those things are cheating because I've mentioned them before, but I want her to be able to build up a swarm strong enough that she can fly.
Incredible.
Like maybe if she gets like several hundred dragonflies.
Yeah, that could be really
several
cool.
hundred might not be enough. Like
well, yeah, we were already at hundreds of thousands or millions at the bank job.
I mean, dragonflies are pretty big.
That's true. Yeah. 1 million dragonflies that's a lot.
Ooh, yeah.
We're talking a lot of bug.
How would you, I feel like gathering 1 million dragonflies would take too long. They aren't that numerous. Also, I want her to fully coat her body with fireflies and be like a glowing beacon in the night.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I hope that happens.
Yeah, like something where she needs to just seem really impressive.
Yeah.
Obviously not a stealth mission.
Yeah.
Though she can maybe make them not flash. Like she could make them flash in rhythm. I want her to use fireflies for Morse code.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
All right, I feel like that's enough things.
That's very cool. Okay, so another question. This one's also from Claire. So we heard about the Tinker classification of capes.
Uh-huh.
What other classifications of capes do you think there are? Or you don't have to believe in them, but pitch some.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so there are people who manipulate other beings. So that's like Bitch and Taylor. They could be different classes because like Taylor controls other beings and Bitch just grows the dogs.
Sure, but what would you call, how would you group them?
Puppeteers.
Puppeteers.
So Alec is also a puppeteer.
Great.
And then there are people who have some sort of body modification. Either they can directly modify their own body like Browbeat, or like Aegis, their bodies are just kind of like weird in some way. Like I think Glory Girl is also in this category.
Sure.
Though she additionally has the aura power, but I think that's separate. And yeah, that would be... I'm going to call them autobiological capes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That's a great term.
Good old autobios. I guess probably the technical term for like Taylor would be an exobiological cape. But puppeteers is, of course, what they're called colloquially. Yeah. So then we have capes who modify reality in some way, like Clockblocker. You could say he's also an exobiological cape, but stopping time for something is just really weird. And like Vista or Professor Haywire, like people who change time and space and almost like metaphysical capes.
Yeah.
They change the nature of reality. And then you have people who have perception in some sense, like Tattletale, who, I mean, perception capes, like, I guess. Yeah, are there any big categories that I'm missing? I'm trying to think of the people we know.
I mean, I think you're onto something talking about Glory Girl that's sort of...
Oh, the aura, the influence kind of thing.
But just that people sort of have multiple...
Yeah, multiple categories.
Categories, or, you know, the metaphysical stuff, like, we had Taylor speculating, like, well, where does Loog's fire come from?
Yeah.
In kind of a metaphysical way. Yeah, it's sort of the same thing. How does Taylor's ability work? You know, there's a little bit of an aspect to that, to all of it.
So, like, yeah, Glory Girl has the sort of autobiological component, but also the exobiological component where she influences people's minds. And you have Gallant, who has the perception component, but then also that sort of influence, almost. I feel like there might be a distinction between influence and puppeteering.
Sure.
Where, like, influence affects something and puppeteering is controlling something. So Alec and Taylor might both be puppeteers. And Gallant and Clockblocker might both be influencers.
Right.
And Glory Girl, yeah.
I can't wait for influencer to be introduced as a technical term in a 2011 web novel.
Yes.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, also they get great ad deals, so just a lot of SpawnCon going on for them.
All right, so let's take a little bit of an Animorphs detour.
Okay, love that.
What would each of the Undersiders' battle morphs be?
Ooh, I mean, Rachel really can't have anything other than a dog. So whatever dog is best at, like maybe like a pit bull, some kind of like
pit bull,
terrier,
Great Dane,
mastiff, like something that would be really ferocious in a fight. So whatever dog is the fightiest would be Rachel. Tattletale's definitely the eyes in the sky. She's a bird.
Okay, yep.
Gru, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know that there's any morph that could create, I mean, there are no animals that create darkness the way he does. So I feel like he is just sort of inherently a stealth attacker. Like, so maybe he'd be like a cobra kind of.
Okay,
like
yeah.
Yeah. Alec, likes to get into other people's bodies, control them that way. I don't know that there's a real animal that's an analog to that. So, I mean, maybe he'd just pick something kind of classic. Maybe a lion, because he's the king of the jungle.
Yeah, I was also thinking big cat. I was thinking more like a cheetah or something. Like he just sort of like zips by and swipes you with a paw.
Cheetah's good, yeah. And Taylor, she probably can't be a bug, because that's not going to do much good in battle.
If anyone could innovate in the sort of battle morph and make
become
a bug
a swarm.
Work. No. Okay, if she could morph a swarm, that would be awesome. But
yeah, it's just whatever spider is the most poisonous, she just gets one of the others to drop her on their biggest villain and then bites them.
Yeah. I love it. Perfect.
Yeah.
Now, both of these questions are from Carrie. Both Worm and Animorphs have characters named Taylor and Rachel. If the two Taylors teamed up and fought the two Rachels, who would emerge victorious?
It's really hard for me to put anyone victorious over Animorphs Rachel. Okay, so Taylor from Animorphs is sort of an insane 20-something Yeerk leader. And
very sadistic.
Yes. I don't think that Worm Taylor would work well with her. I think it would be hard for them to align. I do think, she has a lot of power at her disposal. She's good at causing pain. And that is something that Worm Taylor is also good at. So they could potentially, Taylor could use all of her many bugs to overwhelm, the Animorphs Rachel can only be one animal at a time. And we did see her overwhelmed with a swarm of ants in the Amazon once, and that really took her out. And animals in general are vulnerable to bugs.
Yeah. And, the Yeerks, they have, like, Dracon beams, like laser beams. They have other advanced technology. Taylor from Animorphs in particular has a pain button that she uses to sort of zap people with.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's true. However, the Animorphs are so good at fighting. They've been doing this, they have so much strategy.
Yeah.
I don't know where Taylor will be by the end of this story, obviously. But I think that Animorphs, Rachel, and Bitch would make a really good team because Bitch can go in with the dogs, which are not going to be hugely vulnerable to Taylor's bugs. Like, they'll be vulnerable, but, like, it would take a lot to bring them down. So they'll just be able to cause, like, the major chaos, and then Rachel can be anything.
Yeah.
She can really find the precision strike, and I think she would work well with Bitch. Like, I think they would recognize a shared anger in each other, and, you know, they're very different in some ways, but I think that they would not find it difficult to unite for a shared purpose.
Yeah, points to the Rachels.
Rachels have it. Also, Worm Taylor would spend so long trying to figure out if she's doing the right thing.
That's a great point. A question from Pick. What pop girly do you think each Undersider stands? Or, you know, would any Undersiders be a Swiftie? If you want to take the easier way out. I might expand it to, you know, speculate on the music taste. You know, maybe they're all into pop girlies, but maybe not.
All right. I think that Taylor loves Phoebe Bridgers.
Okay.
And I think that Tattletale is a Swiftie.
Tattletale's a Swiftie. Great. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Alec also likes Taylor Swift, but would never admit it. Never.
Okay.
I think that Rachel loves Demi Lovato, but only like the later albums.
Okay.
Like the most recent, angriest albums.
Yeah.
And I think, obviously in 2011, that Demi didn't exist. Brian, I don't know that I can see him being into any pop girlies. I feel like he might like a couple of Gracie Abrams songs.
Okay.
Yeah, she's got something.
Yeah. Love it. A question from C10E2. Of all the theories you've come up with, which one do you most want to come true?
What a great question. I'm very braced for all the bad things that are going to happen in this story, and I feel like a lot of my predictions have been about bad things because that's what I expect, but I don't want them to happen. The one that I most want to become true is Taylor and Danny teaming up and really being on the same side and using each other's strategic natures to sort of amplify their strategic power, becoming like a father-daughter team against the man.
Yeah. Very cool.
So before we get to any more questions, I did have a few categorization questions that I think we should explore together.
Please.
As Ted knows, I love categorizing things, ranking them, all that kind of thing. And
I'll often tee up a question of this sort to Jenny.
Yes.
And
Jenny sniping, yeah.
Jenny's friends refer to it as Jenny sniping.
Yeah.
It's a guaranteed way to get Jenny talking.
Get me totally absorbed in the question and distracted from everything else. So I think we should talk about a couple of different categories for the Undersiders. I think we should first figure out what 5-man band character they each are.
Okay.
I think that's one of the easier questions. I feel like, clearly, Tattletale is the brains. She knows that.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah. Gru is the leader. He's not officially the leader, but that is more or less his role. It's a little bit of a contentious role because Tattletale also takes the lead in some ways. And, he doesn't have that official role, but...
Sure.
Alec is the Lancer, kind of hanging back, being sarcastic.
Yeah. He sort of doesn't have the, second in command or lieutenant side to him.
Yeah, that is true. But he is the most sarcastic one.
Right. Tattletale is, if anyone is Gru's Lancer, Tattletale is. I know we have to put them in different categories. But...
Yeah, that is true. It's a little bit muddy there because, Gru is not exactly in command. If he were, Tattletale would be his second in command. I think he's slightly more in command than Tattletale is because I think he wants it a little more.
I see it, I'm diverting us, but the way I read it is just they're the mom and dad. They're the two.
No, it's true.
Slightly more responsible one. They're the mom and dad, and he's the only responsible one. That's how I would characterize them.
It's just a really flighty
doesn't quite
mom.
map neatly onto the...
No, it's true. And none of these categories are going to map perfectly.
Yeah.
Except that Bitch is obviously the muscle. So
yes, no, that's fair.
She's the big guy.
And so Taylor's the heart. That's...
I think in some ways that is true. And in some ways it's very much not.
The Undersiders didn't have a heart until they met Taylor. And that's why they all wanted her on board immediately.
I think in a lot of ways Tattletale is also the heart.
Interesting.
She just seems to want to make the loft really welcoming. Like, she really wanted to welcome Taylor.
Yeah,
she was the most friendly in
welcoming
reaching
to
out.
Taylor. Yeah.
She seems to be a friendly and sort of mollifying presence. Like, the way in which, like, she's just a very cheerful, happy person, which I think is a pacifying presence. But the heart is often the conscience of the group. There is that element of like, oh, I don't want to like hurt the baby animals or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's definitely Taylor. Like, she's the one who's like, I mean, she's not the heart in that she's not deeply embedded enough in them, but she is the one who's going to be like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do that thing. And she's going to care the most about it.
Yeah. Not to be unfair to the other Undersiders, but have we seen a single moral qualm expressed by any of them at any point?
Gru didn't want to kill people in the bank.
Right. But as you pointed out, that's not because, like, killing people is
Well, it was unclear.
bad.
It was unclear.
Yeah.
It was unspecified.
It was unspecified, yeah. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. It's not truly a solid 5-man band where they all fit perfectly.
Yeah, and I think it's too early to say, but I also think that, as we've discussed, they really are resisting easy categorization so far. Except perhaps Rachel.
Speaking of groups with Rachels in them, which Friends character is each of them?
Oh.
I actually think Tattletale is the Rachel.
Tattletale's the Rachel. Okay.
Although, there's probably an argument for Tattletale being Phoebe.
Whoa, I don't necessarily see that. They're blonde.
So is Rachel.
I haven't watched. Is Rachel blonde?
Blondish. She's pretty blonde.
You might be able to tell I am not the one who's watched a lot of Friends. I'm familiar with.
She's certainly much blonder than Monica.
Sure.
My argument, like, Rachel is the new one at the beginning of the show. She's the one who's entering the group, so that could be Taylor.
Okay.
And Phoebe is the one who is just generally a very happy person and, like, tends to kind of, you know, she does have strong moral convictions, which is not very Tattletale, but she's kind of a little bit, like, goofy and silly.
Sure.
And I could see Lisa filling that role.
Sure.
I do think... Oh, and she's played by someone named Lisa, so...
There you go. It's rock solid.
Rock solid. No, I think Tattletale's probably more of the Rachel character.
I agree with that. Tattletale's the Rachel.
Okay. This isn't going to be very easy mapping. I think this is going to be...
We also have the wrong number of people.
Well, no, it's true. We have some flexibility. Alec is definitely Chandler.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I think that might be the clearest
guy.
one. Yes, the sarcastic guy.
Easy.
Yeah.
What about Gru? Brian?
He's probably Ross. But he could be Monica.
Wow. The Geller siblings merge together to become Brian. This is very fascinating.
I mean, both of the Geller siblings are a little bit controlling, like a little bit, like, neurotic.
Yeah. And that's his response kind of like, why are you changing the plan, Lisa? Like, why didn't you tell me? What's Rachel doing? Yeah,
and him, like, wanting the loft to be clean. And, like,
yeah.
But I think possibly one of the Geller siblings might need to be reserved for Taylor, who is also like that.
That's true.
They're the conscientious ones.
That's true.
So, you know, hard to say.
Yeah. And it's
just going by gender, I mean, we can assign them easily, but...
Sure. That's fair. So we've got our Monica, Ross, and Rachel. What about... And Chandler. This, I think, is a really fascinating question. Is Rachel... Worm Rachel.
Yeah.
The Phoebe or the Joey?
Unfortunately, it really breaks down. She might be the Gunther. I don't know.
Oh, no. I mean...
Who's the guy who, I think Rachel dates, who just, like, screams at people?
You're asking the wrong person. I'm going to argue... I know that there's the song Smelly Cat.
Yeah.
So Phoebe... has a song where she cares about a cat that's not being
and actually Phoebe
fed correctly.
Has has a background that is most similar to Worm Rachel's, where she was like out on the streets at like 14. And,
so I'm going to say perhaps not in disposition.
Certainly not.
But in terms of, you know, the fundamental character core. And so what we need to recruit to the Undersiders is a Joey. Yeah. Yeah. So Gallant is going to join the Undersiders. I look forward to this. Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. I was going to say, I was anticipating this question and I was going to pitch to you. I think we have a much more natural 5-man band in the Wards. They seem like a much more conventional group.
But there 7 of them?
No, of course. It doesn't quite map on. But like, Aegis seems like a natural leader. We kind of talked about that. Clockblocker, we didn't get a lot from him. I'm not sure he said anything that was funny. But he seems like, he's sort of like, oh, I am...
The natural sidekick.
I am going to be second in command, but I don't want to lead. You know, like, you ask me to do stuff and I'll do it, but I don't really want to. Like, there's a little bit of a Lancer attitude there.
Yeah.
You have... The young ones, Kidwin and Vista, clearly are the young ones. I think either of them could be the heart, but maybe Kidwin is the eyes in the sky because he's the tinker.
Kidwin did show a lot of heart in the most recent chapter.
That's true. That's true.
The interlude. And Vista hasn't really shown us any personality, so it's hard to say.
That's true. Yeah.
She has a crush on Gallant, is all we know.
Yeah, Gallant is the Joey.
Yes.
A member of the 5-man band, the Joey.
Yeah.
Browbeat is the muscle.
Browbeat is the muscle, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Or you swap out Browbeat for Glory Girl, I guess. You could borrow her.
They don't have a brains, do they?
No. I mean, unless you want to make the argument that, as Amy suggested, Gallant is the brains because he can read the room.
So the Joey is also the brains. What a twist.
What a twist.
Wow.
But I feel like just in kind of spooling that out, it was like, bam, bam, bam. It's easier because we have 7 to fit into 5 slots.
Yeah.
But they feel a lot more conventional, and the Undersiders feel a little less conventional.
Yeah.
I'll also throw out as a fun fact, people were playing the game on Discord. This is not something I can participate in because I don't know enough of the color wheel theory. But in Magic the Gathering, there are 5 colors. And the different types of creatures and cards you can get to match the colors do have kind of a theme, and if you are talking about decks you might play, the color palette of those decks tells you a little bit about the strategy. Like, do you use, a few creatures that get bigger and stronger over time, or do you use a lot of little disposable creatures that are annoying? Are you dealing a lot of direct damage, or are you more just trying to like control and stall things? And Wildbow piped up to mention that part of his inspiration, or part of one of his exercises in thinking about how the Undersiders would function as a team, was figuring out where they were on the color wheel of Magic. So I thought that was a very, very fun fact. And maybe if we have, if we ever have a guest on who knows about Magic the Gathering, we can ask them to assign
Our Discord
colors.
people can say if anyone really knows.
Yeah, exactly.
Really want to guess.
Exactly.
Finally, I think we have to figure out which Undersider is which Animorph.
Isn't it the same as the 5-man band question?
No, they have personalities, Ted.
Okay, fine. Which of the Undersiders? We could also just do which word character.
Oh, I like that. Okay, yes, we'll broaden it.
Yeah. So
Glory Girl is Rachel.
I was about to say.
Absolutely. Fashion sense, beauty, rage problems, punching. Yeah. Yes,
she's got
absolutely.
It all. She's got it all. And a little, she seems to be a good student. Also a Rachel
quality. So true. A Packard Foundation outstanding student. So I do think Taylor's not super like Cassie, but like there's definitely like she's the conscience,
Yeah, I would also
Amy
say
is also a little bit like that.
I say Amy's more of a Cassie. She's very moral, but in a way that seems to be...
Amy's very troubled by it.
Yeah,
which Taylor is currently not. Yeah.
Taylor, I think, is closer to a Tobias. She is a bully victim.
She's a loner.
And
also.
she has the eyes in the sky through her bugs.
Oh, you're so right.
Sensing,
Taylor is Tobias.
The battlefield sensing, if not actual vision.
Amy is Cassie, and Cassie and Rachel are best friends, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean... Aegis seems like Jake. Like, that's...
Aegis is the Jake.
Yeah.
He's the leader. It comes naturally to him.
Yeah.
He seems well-liked. He's got a little bit of a sense of humor.
Do we have a Marco? Is Alec Marco?
Alec is a very poor imitation of Marco.
I was going to say,
we need to see
really
him step up in terms of strategy. Like Marco's, he seems like
Taylor's
the
got
class
more of
clown.
that, actually.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually a great point. Is that Taylor?
But Taylor doesn't have Marco's sense of humor at all.
No, not at all. But yeah, Alec would have to step up strategically in order to fill that Marco niche.
And also, he'd have to be funnier. Like, I feel like he's really not.
Yeah. He hasn't cracked a lot of jokes.
No. He's just kind of, sullen and has some attitude.
Sarcastic.
He's okay. Yeah, okay, so we don't have a strong Marco. It might be that one of the wards is Marco. We don't know.
Yeah.
So who haven't we done? We haven't done Axe? Is he the only one?
We haven't done Axe.
Okay. Yeah, Axe is tricky because he's such an outsider to the culture, which is not true of anyone we've met. I mean, Scion is a little bit of an extreme example. I don't think he's quite at Scion levels of disconnect with humanity.
Yeah. He's a cadet, he's a warrior and a wrist. So somebody who has a, kind of a different way of approaching. I think we probably haven't met our Axe.
We haven't met an Axe,
We didn't get to Axe until book 4 of Animorphs, so maybe we'll meet our Axe in Arc 4 before.
I hope so. I look forward to it.
This is next mailbag. We'll map the arcs onto the books and figure out how it all connects.
Yes, this is just Animorphs in disguise. We're just making the same podcast again.
Love that. That was very fun.
Yeah.
All right. So instead of another question for you, I have a little game that I've cooked up.
Okay.
Which is a bracket of capes we have seen in Worm so far.
Ooh.
We haven't seen everybody use their power. I had to get up to 16 for the purpose of the bracket, and it wasn't absolutely clear to me which of the ones that we've had there. Everyone we've at least met in the story and have a sense of their power.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's not an exhaustive list, obviously. I seeded them alphabetically.
Oh, okay.
So the matchups are pretty random.
Pretty random, yeah.
But if we like this and ever do it again, we can use their rankings as seeds in the future.
Oh,
so
nice.
We'll see how they stack up. And this is going to be, I would call it a who would win bracket, but I would encourage you to, it doesn't have to be strictly like whose power beats whose, because as we've seen a lot, information can change things. People can come up with clever strategies.
Yes,
we've had some canonical matchups go away that you would not expect. So
that is true.
Feel free to make your case,
right? Because people can be creative
as we go through this, based on everything you know. So, first up, Aegis versus Vista.
Ooh, that's so interesting. I hadn't really thought about the wards fighting each other yet. I think Aegis has got to take it. Vista could probably run away, but that doesn't feel like winning.
Yeah.
And Aegis is probably tireless, so he could just pursue her forever and she'll eventually fall asleep. He is unlikely to be hurt by anything she can do with the physical space, and if he ever does get his hands on her, he will win.
Right.
So it'll be kind of a cat and mouse game for a while, but he would eventually win.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of winning, Kid Win versus Gru. Interestingly, one we sort of saw in
we
canon.
Did sort of see. I don't know that we've seen Kid Win's full potential, but
that paperwork is holding him back.
Seriously. If they're in a situation where Gru can see and Kidwin can't, because they're both surrounded by darkness, it seems that all Kidwin has developed is a flying skateboard and weapons. So I think Gru will be able to get the better of him. Gru isn't particularly well set up to beat Kidwin, but I think he could.
All right. Gru moving on to the next round. Clockblocker versus Regent.
Regent is surprisingly powerful, but could he keep Clockblocker from touching him at all? Because once Clockblocker touches Regent, I mean, he can't kill Regent, but he could, freeze Regent and then prepare to deliver a blow as soon as Regent unfreezes. So, and that would be such a boring thing. They're like, it's going to be 30 seconds to 10 minutes. I'm just ready to hit you at every moment.
Yep. That's very funny.
Yeah, I think Clockblocker would probably win, but I think Regent would put up a good fight because he can, twist his fingers and arms away.
I mean, I think we saw the strategy Clockblocker would use. He at some point gives up on trying to avoid the bugs, and he's like, I'll take it. So, even if Regent is, messing with his body a little bit as he charges towards him.
Right.
It's like,
he doesn't
all
have
I
to
gotta
be
do
precise.
is touch him once.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Interestingly, not something we saw in canon. Taylor, a.k.a. Skitter, versus Browbeat.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a tough one for her. Assuming that they can start at a little bit of distance. Do we know if he has modified healing powers?
I don't remember.
Yeah. I think this would be a lot like Taylor versus Lung, which, she did win. And she would have won more if she'd been a little bit more prepared, which she would be at this point.
Yeah, I think he did have some kind of healing. I think that wasn't mentioned as part of his powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Robbie doesn't have the fire power, so the bugs would be more effective versus him. And so I think that she would just swarm him really hard and he would eventually go down.
The versus clock blocker strategy might work.
One possible problem is if he has that point-blank telekinesis, could he keep the bugs off of himself? I don't know if we've seen his power work that way, so it's a little unclear, but I'm going to...
He's continuously flexing and crushing the bugs.
Right, I'm not sure
muscles.
he could do that for his whole body constantly, so I'm going to give it to Taylor.
Nice. All right. There's trouble in the Undersiders because Bitch and Tattletale are fighting.
That's really interesting. Bitch doesn't seem like someone who's likely to be stopped by words in the middle of combat, but she probably does have buttons that Tattletale knows how to push. But I think Bitch wouldn't really give her a chance to say much. I think Bitch would win that one.
Yeah, just Tattletale alone is just really
right.
Really
Tattletale
tough.
Needs a team. Yeah,
really
tough.
Yeah,
I hate to knock Tattletale out in the first round, but
and also I feel like with people who aren't as direct as Bitch seems to be,
right,
Tattletale has more of an edge. This is just a really bad draw for her. She probably advances to the second round on average, but versus Bitch, it's tough.
Like, versus Glory Girl, she probably also would have been out if they had just been in single combat. Glory Girl wasn't able to hit her immediately, and that's what let her win. But Bitch would just hit her immediately.
On the other hand, I would say Tattletale versus Glory Girl matchup, presumably Tattletale still has a gun.
That is true, but what does she do after she hits her? Yeah. After she shoots her, she's alone.
Yeah. Good point.
The thing is that Tattletale would be more prepared than that. So she wouldn't end up in solo combat. Like,
of course. Yeah.
Given the limits of this exercise, though, I have to give it to Bitch.
Yeah, that's fair. Tough luck, Lisa.
Yeah.
Okay, Gallant versus Miss Militia.
Miss Militia. Gallant's like, wait, you're sad! And Miss Militia's like, blast with the cannon, and he's out.
Love that. All right, Glory Girl versus Loon. I think we might have talked about this on the podcast.
But we didn't know about the force field yet. Yeah, I don't know how force fields are versus fire. We did talk about this last time as well. I feel like we still don't know. But if he hits her hard enough, it will go out, and then she will probably take the next blow and be, it'll be tough. But I still think they're going to be reasonably matched because, we still don't know if he can fly. I was saying that I thought he could fly, but, I don't think we really have any evidence of that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree it's a tough matchup.
It's a tough
Who's
matchup.
It gonna be?
Yeah. I think I'm going to give it to Glory Girl because I think if she takes a really tough blow, she'll fly out of it. Because it just takes a couple seconds for her force field to come back. Which is probably how she manages in most combats.
Yeah. All right, Glory Girl advances. Last matchup of round 1. Panacea versus Armsmaster.
Well, Panacea does have some combat abilities, but they are not ranged. And Armsmaster is. So I think Armsmaster wins that one.
Yeah. If she could touch him, she could probably mess him up.
Absolutely.
But he has a 10-foot halberd or whatever.
Yeah, he has full body armor and he has ranged weapons. Yeah, so she's not going to
He does leave his handsome chin and stubbly beard exposed. So there's Amy's got a chance.
If she seduces him as part of the combat, she can...
Yeah.
I mean, she's not a combat cape.
Yeah, Saint to Tattletale. It's tough.
Exactly. Very valuable, but not going to win this.
Okay, so into round 2, Aegis versus Gru.
We did see this a little. I think there probably are situations, there could be combats where Gru would win if he was well enough prepared. I think it would be really, really tough for him to take Aegis out at all, even being able to see him. Aegis can fly, so he can fly up out of the darkness, and he can withstand anything Gru would do to him. I feel like it would kind of be a stalemate because how is he going to find Gru?
Right.
So I kind of might fight to a draw almost. If Gru is just lost in this darkness and Aegis did have some weapons on him, but they were flashbangs and that wasn't useful in Gru's darkness. So if one of them has a weapon that can destroy the other, maybe. Like, if Aegis brings, like, a grenade and throws it into the darkness, or if, like, Gru brings, like, I don't know, a rocket launcher that can destroy Aegis. Like, I think that even that wouldn't do it against Aegis. Like,
yeah, that's interesting. It's sort of, you're saying that, like, if they know they're going into this matchup, they're both going to have some kind of trick up their sleeve in order to have a chance at winning.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could probably argue the same thing with Gru as with Vista. Vista's a little more exposed, but depending on how taxing her use of her power is. I think maybe the question is, do Gru and Vista ever run out of, like, resources? Because Aegis, it seems like being indomitable is part of his deal in a way that it's not necessarily with everyone. So someone's got to go forward. They might.
I'm gonna give Aegis the edge because I just think there's a possibility that Gru would fade.
Gru fans in the stands might be rioting as we speak, but Aegis advances.
Yeah, it's either Aegis or a stalemate, I think.
On to a matchup that has been thoroughly covered by the story. Clockblocker versus Skitter.
Gotta give it to Taylor.
Boom! All right, Bitch versus Miss Militia.
Oh, no, that's interesting. Her dogs can withstand a lot, but Bitch can't. And Miss Militia does have ranged weapons.
Yeah.
But if the dogs get to Miss Militia before she can get to Bitch, we don't know how intense those weapons are.
Yeah, we also don't know, like, the thing with including Miss Militia and Arms Master is, like, we haven't really seen enough of them, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we know, are the guns, do they just look like guns, or are they, like, literally guns that she's summoning? You know, like, there's a difference. You gotta assume
they're real guns.
Well, right, but there's a difference between sort of, like, it's a gun-like attack versus, like, oh, she now has a, Uzi that she's using. Yeah.
The dogs are very tough, and she...
That's true. Uzi versus car-sized bone meat dog.
Car-sized, yeah.
It's gonna eat. And if Bitch could just hide on the other side.
If Bitch can stay under cover, then I think Bitch has it.
Bitch has it? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Ms. Militia, you gotta come up with some more unusual...
We just don't know what she's capable of. Yeah.
Anti-dog guns.
Yeah.
Finally, Glory Girl versus Arms Master.
Arms Master doesn't know about her force field weakness, so he's not going to exploit it properly, and I think she gets him.
Ooh, nice, nice. Okay, sorry, Arms Master.
Yeah.
We're on to the next round. Aegis versus Skinner.
This one is really tough. He is going to advance on her and not be stopped by the bugs. I think he probably would win it. I did say last time that, like, her bugs aren't going to be very useful versus him because stuff physically doesn't bother him the way it bothers other people. So even if she stings him a ton, like, maybe eventually that would take him down, but, like, he would find her before that, and she's not going to be strong enough against him in one-on-one combat.
Yeah, he already, unlike Loon, he's already got his resiliences built in.
Oh, yeah,
and
he doesn't build up.
She can't pull out pepper spray and, like, annoy him, startle him.
That won't bother him enough.
It's not going to bother him at all. He's just, sad for our girl, but
I know.
He just goes on to the finals.
Yeah. Oof.
Next up, we have Bitch versus Glory Girl.
I bet that matchup has happened before, maybe.
Could be.
So we did hear that Glory Girl helped Aegis out of some difficulties outside the bank. Presumably meaning that I don't know if she knocked out the dogs, because it seemed like, they were still doing fine at the end of the combat.
Yeah.
But, it seemed like she was able to at least drive them off.
Yeah.
And they aren't going to be shooting her with guns. Yeah, so she will be impenetrable. And she has super strength. So eventually she probably could take out the dogs.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, I'm imagining, like, if her force field goes down, the dogs could get at her, and it would be even worse than Taylor's bugs.
But also she can fly. I mean, so could Aegis.
But she can fly, right, and presumably the dogs can't get a grip on her force field, even if they're incredibly lucky. So there really is no way.
And it is, like, a strong enough blow needs to happen.
Yeah.
It's not just, I bite you and then I bite you again.
Exactly.
It was the blow of, like, landing on the marble like that.
Exactly. All right. Well, that takes us to the final round. Is anybody surprised? It's two people with the Alexandria package. Aegis versus Glory Girl.
Yeah, the Alexandria's Junior. Yeah, so if Aegis knows that he can have a gun and shoot her and maybe get some damage in that way, it would still be tough because he's not going to be able to get... Like, if he shoots her, he can't swarm her with bugs immediately.
Yeah.
Like, that was a very Tattletailer-specific attack.
Yeah.
So he might get lucky with the force field. I think it's more likely that she would be able to take him out because she has super strength and he doesn't.
Yeah.
And we haven't really seen him fighting someone with super strength. Presumably at some point she can just cut his head off and that will kill him. Like, he's not actually immortal.
Yeah. Or she could do enough damage. As we saw, he got so beat up. And after that amount of fighting, short of somebody figuring out the loophole, Victoria would be totally
She'd
pristine.
be fine, yeah.
Exactly.
Nothing would have hurt her at all.
So, yeah, I mean, that might be it.
Yeah, I do think she's our winner here. There is still a question of like, okay, what are the actual limits of this force field situation? How much of a weakness is this? How easy is it to trigger this weakness? It seems like no one has before, or like no one's exploited it before. It's not known. It's probably not easily triggered.
Yeah.
So I do think Glory Girl is our winner.
Ah, you love to hear it, don't you?
It's why she's called Glory Girl, I guess.
All right. To the Victoria goes the spoils.
She can be spoiled for Worm. I can't.
And yeah, now we have our first round of competitors. Shout out to Shadowstalker, who I cut just because we've heard about
seen her
powers, but we haven't seen her in action.
She hasn't been on the page at all. Yeah. It's because she's hiding in the loft.
It could be.
Okay, another activity that I had planned for this episode was to show you some spoiler-appropriate fan art.
All right.
There is so much incredible Worm and Parahumans fan art out there. So this is just going to be a tiny, teeny, tiny scratching the surface of things that were recommended in our fan art channel, or people tagged us in on Tumblr, or I saw while randomly scrolling around, or I remember from looking at fan art when I first got into Worm. So there's a bunch of that stuff mixed in here. It's probably not all going to be great audio. So we're going to cut this down to pieces that we have something interesting to say about. And things that we do talk about, I will include in links, maybe not in all the show notes, but we'll put them on our Tumblr or something like that so that people can go look at exactly what we're looking at. I think how we should do this is I sent you a big list of links. Just click through them and we'll go a little bit and you can share your reactions.
All right. I'm looking at the first one from Joyce's Creation. Oh, is this Taylor sitting here in the first day of the story?
It's the first sentence of Worm.
Oh, I see.
Class ended in 5 minutes, and all I could think is an hour is too long for lunch.
This is great. Yeah, I really like her hair. I like the sort of angst, anxiety in her face. I love this art style. It's sort of the colors overlapping, a little abstractly.
It's very comics.
A little messily, yeah.
But not like super crisp Marvel DC comics. It's like what I would expect from a more indie comic style, and I would love to see more.
It's a little bit the animation style of Into the Spider-Verse. It's like echoing that a little bit. From
I bet.
Okay, next one. Tumblr, Angelo Art. Oh, look at this little drawing of her sitting by the trash at lunch to hide.
Angelo Art did a whole series of Taylors from throughout Worm. And there were a few that were really early on. Yeah. And this one I love. It's not that detailed compared to some of the ones that we're looking at. But
it's very evocative.
It's very evocative. It's like sad puppy Taylor sitting, hiding from her bullies by a trash can.
Villains to take care of her.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so this is on Tumblr. We have WebVid drawing the, 9 girls talking to Taylor during lunch. Ooh, I love how all of the girls are sort of grayed out except for Taylor and Emma.
Yeah.
The significant ones.
I love
just watching her. Emma looks really hot.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I love Taylor's, sort of has the wide mouth, almost evoking sort of frog face. I feel like it's a very good
look for Taylor.
Upset you're going to cry yourself to sleep for a straight week. Oh, Emma. Someone should stab you in your perfect cleavage. Okay, so now we have DeviantArt Madelion. Ooh, oh, I love this. This isn't, as far as I know, a specific moment. This is just Taylor's face. Her hair is sort of this wild, like, beautiful mane, and it's dissolving into bugs. I mean, I say beautiful mane, but it also looks angry and kind of dark and evil. Like, she looks like she has a lot of rage. And the dissolving into bugs... It looks almost like dissolving into like dust or being destroyed.
We're going to see some of Taylor in costume. I like uncostumed Taylor evoking her power. It's very fun to see.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. DeviantArt Kingdom. We have Taylor looking in the mirror in the bathroom in that first arc, where the bugs start coming out of the walls and the sinks and everything, and she's just like trying to hold it together.
She's got juice on her hoodie.
Yes! A hand in her hair, trying to hold herself in, find control again. I love how graffiti covered the bathroom is also. Gestation 1.2. Ooh, this take on the costume. She looks cool. It's a very like machine-like. The armor plates are like they look like metal.
Yeah.
Just in how I would have thought of it. The glowing eyes and the mask. And then her hair, of course, is free.
Yeah. This artist, Zero, Zearoe on Reddit, is one of my favorites. We're going to see basically everything they've posted.
Ooh, nice. Oh, here's Zero again.
These two pieces are just incredible.
Hideout.
Yeah.
Yes.
No characters, but it's a detailed front area and back area.
Look at that couch.
Pair of pictures of the Undersider's lair.
Yeah, there's a mask hanging up. That's Taylor's mask. Okay. Weights, pizzas. Yeah, okay, so that's part one. Oh, yeah, okay. Other end. Get the brick wall, whiteboard, some sort of like chore chart.
Yeah, the chore chart is very funny because you can see the icons for everybody in the group, the crown and the skull and the dog and the bug. And every icon has been crossed out and replaced with TT. Clearly, Tattletale's the only one who does chores.
Do not draw over or else I am stupid.
The Among Us alien is here, which is, I guess, a little anachronistic. But yeah, I mean, it's so great. There's so much fun stuff.
Dog toy.
It is just like a loft that clearly a bunch of teens spend time in, but there are so many like little details that are specific to the story.
Oh, I see the laundry chart. I was missing. Yeah, Tattletale just every time. A little like string conspiracy board.
Yeah, they're the three
the cubicles.
The three different sized dog food stations under the big whiteboard.
Huh. Amazing. Over Shia. Oh, here they all are. Yep, that's Tattletale, all right, looking smug. There's Bitch, looking intense. Regent, looking quite regal, and wow, shirt is low. Gru, looking scary, very skull-like. Aw. Taylor sort of has a cute pose.
Yeah, I'm putting her fingers together. It's a very small bean.
Yes. Senviva. Oof. Is this just Gru and I mean, it's mostly dark. That is very fitting.
Yeah,
totally
captioned POV of unfortunate Brockton Bay ward. But yeah, I love this. I love this
wrecked.
Just for the scariness, what it would be like to fight Gru.
Ooh, this is a Gru that like really leans into like his actual face potentially, which is honestly like a little bit like scary in a different way, like a human creating this darkness. And I feel like this portrays his blackness in a way that, like, I hadn't really thought about the connection between that and the darkness that he creates. I wonder if that has to do with, like, the ways that he was treated as a black boy, black kid.
Yeah.
Okay, more DeviantArt. SG Cassidy, here's more Gru. I see we're in a Gru section. This is him out of costume. He's in his tank top. We can see how ripped he is.
Yeah, I just gotta have one. Yeah, gotta have one showing off the muscles.
Gotta see the muscles. Ooh. Here's Taylor in costume on the back of one of the dogs. Really fascinating. Looks almost like a tiger-like or like Chinese dragon-like face, and then like a lot of different colors in the dog's body, which is really cool.
Yeah, the red muscle and then this weird green.
Yeah.
But the bone spurs and the prehensile tail.
Yeah.
It's
terrifying. Is this Rachel? Yes, looking at her dogs. I feel like this makes her look like guarded, but like very sympathetic. And this is good. This is what I want. I want Rachel to be like that. Here she is again. She is Butch, says the caption. With the dogs and the love. And yes, she's definitely leaning into the Butch aesthetic here. Love it. Tizzy Noodle. Ooh, okay, and here she just looks really cool. The dogs look like, I don't know, phantom ghost creatures, like avenging spirits, and she just looks like feral and awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is when she has like a really like hard angular face.
Yeah.
And since she's like scowling, it's like particularly like not trying to sort of look attractive.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the dogs are just so giant in this one compared to her. I love it.
Okay, so now we're looking at someone else. It's Regent looking sullen. Delightfully so.
I love how much As Love from Lies gave him a baby face in this one.
Yes, but he also looks sort of like he should be a vampire in Twilight.
Yeah, that is absolutely the vibe.
Yeah, he is so annoyed with the world. His little scepter. Okay. Noctilia. Ooh. Here's Tattletale looking cute. She's got freckles. She's got a little quirked smile.
Yeah,
Her
this is
hair
like
looks
it's like
great.
the Natalie Dormer smile. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like that's exactly what this expression is.
Yes. Natalie Dormer should play her. I guess Natalie Dormer is probably too old to play a teenager at this point, but she should play her anyway. Natalie Dormer forever. Got more Senviva. Ooh. Here's Lisa versus Tattletale. Her face looking different in the mask. Her hair down versus up. Her hair looks great up. Good
Covering
job,
her
Lisa.
freckles, changing her eye shape. It's really fun. There are a few of these that in and out of costume.
Ooh, yeah, here she just looks very different. But she's got, this is like a half and half picture, half Lisa, half Tattletale. Her hair up on one side of the picture and then like down, but in shadow on the other side.
Yeah, I love this one.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, her two identities.
Yeah. Here's another, her looking smug. Yes. Yeah, I like all the different takes on all of their faces.
Yeah.
Like there's no canonical image of them.
The one that this last one that we're looking at by King Damned, she feels a little bit more like a little rough around the edges. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, maybe her hair like looks a little greasier, or she's just like a little bit like, you know, she's been out all day and here she is facing you down. Yeah.
I like the quirked smile again. Lopsided. With her eye insignia on the background in violet. Pretty good. Poor innocent Ark won me. Little did I know how insane it would get. I still don't know. There's Taylor. Love the hair. She looks a little bit like I picture Meg from A Wrinkle in Time looking.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Is this Taylor, like, looking at...
I think this is surrounding the fight.
Yeah. And then 10 minutes later, they're all sitting there awkwardly, all kind of injured. Yeah. And there's the gun on the table that she'll notice later. Oh, and there's Glory Girl and Panacea.
Yeah. I just love bright-faced Victoria. Like, completely darkened, dimly lit, bags under her eyes.
Amy's suffering. We know this. Okay. There's Glory Girl strutting high, her cape blowing in the breeze. POV, you're an Empire 88 mook. Yeah, she's about to throw a dumpster at
Collateral damage Barbie.
Yep. Oh my goodness. Love it.
It is just, like, I don't really think about how over the top Glory Girl's costume is without seeing the art of it, which I really love.
Yeah, why does she always punch the sidewalk when she lands? She does so much damage to the city's infrastructure. I'm not even looking at the art. This person gets me. No, this is Panacea holding back Glory Girl, who's like, there's some asphalt and Glory Girl wants to hit it, and Panacea is just rolling her eyes.
This is by Supericardium or Perry, who has a lot of good stuff, but I think tends to be a little more spoilery.
Sad, yeah.
Also, I think a lot of Ward stuff I'm not allowed to look at.
Oh, yeah. Battle at the bank. Ooh.
This might be my favorite of all the things that
nice.
We're looking at. This is Zero again.
Zero, yep. Really detailed.
But this
really
this is camera placed between Glory Girl's feet, looking across the bank at Taylor holding Amy at knife point, while Tattletale is just kind of like off to the side, grinning, sitting cross-legged up on one of the desks, and they're having this like standoff. It's so good. Victoria's feet are floating slightly off the ground.
Yep.
Amy is wearing like a red sweater and a white jacket over it, so even though she's not in costume, she's still kind of like evoking her panacea look.
This would have to be, a shot from the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and then we have the last one. Ooh, yeah. This is just a great view of Taylor Skitter. She hasn't really embraced the name, so I feel weird using it for her, but yeah, love this costume. The sort of skirt blowing, the hair blowing, the armor, the bugs flying to her in little, like, trailing wisps, like smoke.
Yeah, just the different ways people choose to portray her swarm is always a delight to see.
Well, that fan art was great. Thank you so much for curating a spoiler-free list for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I did figure out the end of the novel, but, I won't tell you.
I know,
won't
yeah.
spoil it for you.
It won't affect your predictions at all.
No.
All right. Well, there's still some questions that I was hoping to get to, but it looks like we are out of time. Thank you so much, everyone, for writing in. And if we didn't address your question now or a question similar to it, we will probably get to it the next time we do a mailbag.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for asking all your questions.
Ooh, and before we sign off, one last question. I'm really glad we got this one in. This is also coming from Moose. Have you already recorded the Grab Bag Questions podcast?
Wow, that's a really difficult question to answer because, in a sense, yes, but also in a sense, no. What a liminal space we're in which we both have and haven't recorded the Grab Bags question.
Wow, blowing my mind. Oh my god. All right, Moose. Well, we'll circle back to it later.
Okay, yeah. We'll let you know.
Worm is a web serial by J.C. McCrae. You can read Worm at parahumans.wordpress.com and support the author at patreon.com/wildvote. Follow us on Tumblr and Blue Sky at Inchworm Podcast, or find our Discord link and any other updates on inchwormpodcast.com.